Hello and welcome into the Stew with JT Brew Conference Championship Week here in college football. A wild rivalry week and week 14. We're going to go over that. Some wins, some losses. We hit some big ones. We just missed out some other ones. But we got conference championship playoffs and some awards to talk about. So stick with us. You're in the Stew.
You up on trades and wire moves, you ain't designed to lose. Find you jumping over seemingly nothing, racking up points, makes the game a little more fun to watch. Can drop release, we started with the mock draft and now we making a mockery of the leaderboard. Quite obviously not a scrub, so start an institute, make evaluations like a commissioner do. It's to the point your wife make you watch in a different room. Update your roster and pick and choose when you get some news. Not much that we enjoy more than sifting through new statistics to make it to our end zones through different routes. Universities, institutes, down to homies who click in groups. I introduce you to the Stew with JT Brew.
Welcome in. Conference championship Tuesday night, Benny. We're running out of nights. We only got a few left. I can't believe this college football season has flown by this fast. It's been wild. But I'll tell you what, man, it's been a great season, has it not?
Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. I love this new playoff. I mean, it just makes, to me, it makes every week better. I mean, I know the argument was going to be, a lot of these games aren't going to matter. It makes more games matter,
Absolutely.
These last 4 weeks, it's been this constant argument about who's getting in. And, I don't know what your plan is here in regards to how we're going to do this one, but we want to just jump into. They came out with the new bracket here today, but
I can say for everybody who's we're gonna go a little off different. Usually we just go straight through the games. We talk about the games. We're gonna talk about conference championship games, who we like, what are parlays, what we're putting together. But we're gonna talk about the playoffs. We're gonna talk about some awards. We're gonna kind of jump around a little bit tonight here on the Stew. First off, before we get into the craziness of what's to come, let's talk about last week, Benny. We had some bangers. And I'm telling you, I just missed some absolute bomb bets, just barely. Just barely. Oh, Vanderbilt upset Tennessee. I had a plus 16,000 bet on that with a bunch of other bets. It would have been magical. Just missed that one.
Syracuse.
I'm gonna take my wins and my losses, Benny. We're gonna talk about some of the season-long bets because they all kicked in for the good or the bad on your betting sites. They either kicked in good for you or they kicked in bad for you and you lost the money. So we're gonna talk about a few of those. I'm going to jump into those first because I've got some ones I love that I hit, and there's some ones that hurt, man. Right here, right in the heart. Let's just get UCLA out of the way. I put UCLA sucks in my bio here. Oh my God, the Bruins might be on my shit list for the rest of time. Oh my God, they kill me this year.
They just went over the win total.
Absolutely freaking crushed me this year.
Oh man.
Damn near covered every week. This is not a good team. I knew it was going downhill when I took Miami at it was Hawaii week 1 plus 435 on the money line. I took Hawaii. They led the entire game.
Had them beat.
And lost on the last drive. To UCLA. I had them plus 435 was my game, my actually pick of the week. Man. And they won on the last drive of the game. They had trailed the entire game. And I was like, this is a bad sign. Sign. So that started it. That's all. That one win, Hawaii win, would have got me my under. I went big on the under, folks. I did this. I'm going to be honest with you. It was my pick of the year. I was like, if you're going to put a ton of money on a bet, like if you're just going to go all out, the bet is play under 4.5 wins. Right. And by God, how did this not hit? I mean, honestly, how did it not hit? They played out of their mind down the stretch to get to 5 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I was looking at, I'm pulling up their schedule right now.
It's
Believe
almost
me,
like
I was
nobody.
rooting super Fresno State on Saturday. Fresno State was down. They were like right in the game. It was super close. I was like, oh my God, Fresno State could pull this off. They were down 13-10. I was like, just hold it close. Like, get a stop, get a score. And then they gave up a score with 1:42 left to go down 20-10 and ended up losing 2013. But they were right in they were up 10-6 at halftime. I was like, Fresno State.
Yeah.
I was like, Bulldogs. I'm like, come on, Bulldogs. We're Bulldogs. We went to a Mount Seymour High School, Bulldogs. I'm like, come on, Bulldogs, help us out. So I'm just going to break this down to you. This is just the hate of my rage of UCLA to start this out. So they win week 1, 16-13 over Hawaii after losing the entire game. The entire game they're losing. They pull it out. They end up down 13-7. They kick a field goal to make it 13-10, kick another field goal to make it 13-13 with 14 minutes left, and then kick another field goal in the last minute to win 16-13. Absolutely brutal. They lose 5 in a row, which is exactly what we expect. They lose 5 in a row. They're 1-5. We're sitting golden on 4.5 wins. Somehow they cover and win at Rutgers 35-32 when they haven't scored more than 17 points. They had scored more than 17 points in the game all year.
Neither at Rutgers.
All year. And Rutgers had been a good defense. And they scored 35 at Rutgers. I'm like, okay, that's a bump in the road.
Yeah.
But we got some tough games coming up. There's no way they're going to win the next 2. They win at Nebraska 27-20. At Nebraska. What is happening to your program? You're losing to freaking Nebraska. Nebraska's losing at home to UCLA, a bad UCLA team, 27. So they lose that game. So I'm like, all right, Ben. I'm like, we're on the verge. They just won 2 in a row. They never should have won either one of these games. I mean, this should have been a 2-win team. I'm telling you right now. It's freaking ridiculous.
Yeah.
They end up winning at home against Iowa. Iowa gets up 10-0. Looks like they're going to just absolutely roll this game. And then the second quarter, they fall apart. Absolutely fall apart. Give up 17 straight points. It's 17-10 going into the second half, and then everyone shuts it down. Nothing happens the whole second half. It's absolute just dog shit. Eventually, Iowa scores in this fourth quarter to tie it at 17-17 and then gives up a field goal under minutes left and loses 2017. So that gets them to 4 wins. Lose at Washington, lose against rival UCLA 19-13. All I need is Fresno State to close at home. They win 20-13 against Fresno State. They somehow miraculously win 4 out of the last 6 after starting 1-5.
Man.
Single-handedly the team that cost me the most money this year, UCLA, not only in losses, but in potential wins with parlays and everything else that could have been in the mix. So that was my big one. Sorry to everybody had to listen to me bitch for the first 8 minutes of the show.
For me. Them and LSU, I had a rough go. I had a rough go with LSU this year. I didn't bet their total for the season, but it seemed like every week I would fade them. They would have the game, that you thought they could have, and they would absolutely play out of their minds. And then I'd be like, oh, LSU actually is a good team. And then when I bet on them, they would just absolutely melt down and get their butts kicked. So, yeah.
LSU was I agree with you, man. They were one of those teams that you were just like, what is happening with this team? You know what got me when I knew I was in trouble on LSU was week 4 when they won 34-17 against UCLA. Obviously, UCLA covered because they covered every freaking week.
Yeah,
there's no way that game was like a 21-point favorite. They ended up winning by 17.
We should have known LSU was
no business. I mean, there was no business for UCLA to be in that game. That game was 17 all at halftime. I mean, it was just sickening. Sickening. And the UCLA or LSU had a bunch of chances to score in the second half to close it out, and they won 34-17. Won by 17, didn't cover. That's when I knew we were in trouble. I'm like, LSU, is this team for real? I'm like, you should smash UCLA at home. So they lost the opener to USC, which was a good game, 27-20. We kind of felt like those two teams would be good. LSU ended up being better. USC ended up being insanely disappointing this year.
Yeah. Dude, they killed me
LSU
last
got a
week.
good
USC. I had USC plus 7.5. And
I told you, Benny, I was all over Notre Dame. I was all over Notre Dame.
2 100-yard pick sixes in the fourth quarter. That's how they didn't cover.
I was like, I was all over Notre Dame.
Whatever. Like, because they got down to 7. USC gets the ball back. They're coming down. And I'm like, okay, well, worst case scenario, they're in 4-down territory. They don't get it. Notre Dame gets the ball back. They take a knee. Game's over. They lose by 7. I still cover by the hook. Guy throws another 100-yard pick six. 2 in a row. It's like that's as bad as it gets right there.
I know. I looked up. I was like, Benny, I told you Notre Dame all day. And then I went back. I was like watching the early part of the game, but I missed the 2 pick sixes. And I was like, I told you. God. I was like, all day, every day. I was like, you should have jumped on Notre Dame. And I was like, he barely covered that with those picks.
It was
going back to your
score. It was crazy.
It was brutal. But going back to your LSU pick, LSU lost the opener to USC, won 6 in a row. We're looking great. They beat Mississippi, Ole Miss 29-26. We're like, all right, we should just jump on LSU every week. We were like all about them. Yeah. Then they lose at Texas A&M, lose at home, get crushed at home by Alabama, then lose at Florida. It's just a brutal end. Then he sneaking by Vanderbilt 7 and then Oklahoma by 20 at the end. I don't know about you. I don't know how anybody plays for Brian Kelly. I mean, I know the guy's a good football coach, but he seems like the biggest asshole of all time.
I don't know. And you even know, like, even ex-players, like, they don't come right out and be like the guys, but like nobody says anything great about him. Let's put it that way.
I know.
Like, you never hear anybody. Nobody's ever has his back. Like no one's ever like.
Nobody ever talks to him.
So, yeah, and it's just I don't know, man. His antics and just the way he is, I'm just like I don't know. But
they just lost the number one quarterback recruit in the country. Just decommitted from LSU, is going to Michigan.
It's going to Michigan.
Supposedly getting a $12 million NIL deal, Benny.
Jeez.
Can you imagine being a freshman in college and get $12 million? Freshman in college, you get $12 million?
These guys are pro athletes. I don't care what anybody says.
They are. It's absolutely ridiculous. Here's my last statement on LSU before we move on. Garrett Nussmeier, I really want him to come back. If he comes back to school, I think he is QB1 next year in the 2026 draft. If you did not watch, if you're watching this episode or listening to this episode on a podcast and you did not watch Garrett Nussmeier this year at LSU, do yourself a favor, go back, watch him. He is legit.
He could go in the portal and he might get paid huge. Like,
he could get paid huge. I think he goes back to LSU because he was pretty legit at LSU. Yeah. He had great numbers this year.
Yeah.
But like if he wanted to move on, he would get crazy money. So his stats this year,
they had one.
We're gonna get into that, Betty. We're gonna get into my Ohio State rip here because Nussmeier on Ohio State would be amazing. They do have some awesome young QBs on the team. So this is his first year replacing the Heisman Trophy winner, Jalen Daniels. He went 312, 490, 63.7% completion percentage, 3,700 passing yards, 311 a game, 7.6 yards per attempt, 26 TDs, 11 picks, QB rating 140. Absolute beast. And a lot of those picks came near the end of the year. He was on a much bigger tear before that. He also can run the ball just a hair. He's not super athletic, but the guy can move. He can get out of the pocket a little bit if you need him to. I think Garrett Nussmeier needs to come back. I got him as QB1 in 2026. Whether he plays for LSU or someone else, I think that's the guy you got to have your eye on.
Yeah, he's got a lot of arm talent. There's no doubt about that. And
my buddy Andy Pham turned me on to him last year before Jane Daniels went off. He was like, this guy should be starting instead of him. He's like, this guy's freaking legit good. And I'm like, all right, man, you're right. He looked awesome. Let's jump into a couple other games we had last week. My pick of the week was take the points with Syracuse against Miami.
Won that sucker.
Syracuse covers and they win. I hit Syracuse. I had them at plus 335 on the money line as a 12-point dog. I also took them in a parlay plus 14, which hit. Love to see that. Miami, top 2 quarterbacks in the league, basically in college this year, as far as passing yards, were Kyle McCord and Cam Ward. Absolutely lit it up. Yeah. This game was just, Benny, remember when we said it was 60, what was it, 63, and we said you got to take the over? Like, this game's going to be an absolute shootout.
Yeah.
80 points. Like, we were on it. It was 67.5. And I said take the over. You said take the over. 21-0. Syracuse got down in this game, and I jumped on the live bet. I'm not gonna lie to you. They got 21-0. I got it.
Yeah.
Great freaking game. My boys Syracuse came back. Absolute banger of a game. If you weren't rooting for anyone, it was just an awesome college football game. Cam Ward, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyle McCord, the Ohio State transfer, 380 yards and 3 touchdowns. Benny, I don't know how much you saw Syracuse this year.
Ohio State had kept McCord. I mean, I don't trust Ohio State. Like, people still think they can win the national title. I'm like, I don't think so. Not with this guy they got playing quarterback.
Will Howard,
the rest of the team is loaded, but
the team is loaded.
Yeah, but I don't trust.
So here's the stats. I'm going to break it down for you. Here's the stats, and I've said this, and I've gotten absolutely worked on Twitter for this. I'm like, Ohio State messed up. They should have Kyle McCord, and all the Ohio State fans are like, "Oh, he's only good because Syracuse is a garbage school and a garbage conference. He wouldn't be any good here." I'm like, you guys are hating on a former 4-star, 5-star athlete who lost one freaking game to the national champion Michigan. He lost one game, and it was the national champion. Stats at Ohio State: his 1 year as a starter, 65.8% completion percentage, 3,100 yards, 264 a game, 24 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 161 rating. For Syracuse this year, 65.8 completion percentage, 65.8. So exact same completion percentage, 4,300 yards, Syracuse record, 1,200 yards more, 360 yards a game, 100 yards more a game than at Syracuse. 29 TDs, 12 picks, a 143 rating. The 12 picks really overshadowed because that Pittsburgh game was a nightmare where he threw 5 interceptions in that game. A ton of them got tipped, bounced off of guys. Wasn't totally his fault. It was like the worst game of all time. So outside of those 5 picks, he was pretty good about throwing interceptions this year. You take those exact stats and you put him on Ohio State this year? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I mean,
everybody's like, he's only good because he has the best wide receiver core in the country. I'm like, he does have the best wide receiver core. He just went to Syracuse and proved you he basically had the exact or better stats with a bunch of 2-3-star wide receivers. Are you kidding me?
And they got a couple good ones.
They got some good ones. But, I mean, Meeks transferred from Georgia, a guy that Georgia just threw away. He looked great. Really Rando Gadsden, the tight end, came back. His dad was an NFL player for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
He came back from injury, was an absolute champ this year. I think Kyle McCord is the most underrated QB in this draft class. I mean, by far. Dude, this guy throws a pretty ball. He's ballsy. He gets out there and plays freaking hard.
He's better.
I'm telling you, he's going to be a great third-round pick.
This dude for third round, the skip for Texas is probably he's better than him.
Thank you, Benny.
There's no doubt about it.
I've said this, and people think I'm crazy. I would rather have Kyle McCord or Quinn Ewers.
I would too, 100%.
I would.
I wouldn't have said that until last week. I watched pretty much that whole Texas game. Texas is another team that's absolutely loaded at every position, and they win despite him. Like, I'm not saying he's bad, but I mean, maybe
He's
he
not
just
winning
didn't
them
have very
games.
good game, but he's not winning them games. And honestly, I mean, just to watch his throws and stuff, it just doesn't have the same. He just doesn't have the. I don't know, man. I just don't think
The way the ball comes out of the hand, the velocity, you can
it's
see it.
just
Like
not.
McCord,
Yeah.
throws a pretty ball. He
Oh
steps
yeah.
into it. I mean, he gets so much hate, but I'm like, man, I would take McCord over all these guys.
Yeah.
I really would. And I'm guessing, and this is just as doing NFL draft predictions and covering the draft for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I think he's probably a 3rd round pick, but man, he's a 3rd rounder who could end up being really good on your team. I would much rather have Kyle McCord in the 3rd round. Now this is looking back a little bit, but I'd rather have him in the 3rd round than Kenny Pickett in the 1st round when the Steelers took him, which I hated that pick. I absolutely
100%
hated that
agree.
pick. I'd much rather have Kyle McCord.
Cord's a real quarterback. I mean, the dude can play the position. There's no doubt about it. He's a real deal. So
I think he's going to be a steal for somebody. I really do. I mean, if I'm waiting on QB, I'd wait on him.
These draft scouts, you know how the combine goes now. I mean, these guys, he goes to that combine and lights it up. I mean, he might move up. He might end up being a 2nd round good kind of guy. So he should be.
We can see, because the thing is, I can see a lot of movement in this draft class. I mean, we've got Shadur Sanders, who I've said for 2 years is my QB1 in this class. I think Cam Ward from Miami is QB2, but we just saw him go head to head with McCord, and McCord showed that he's right there with Cam Ward. I'm like, he is just as good, if not a better quarterback than Cam Ward. So I think they're right there together. The question is who comes out and who doesn't. Again, I think Nussmeier should go back because I think he could be QB1 next year. Does Drew Allar from Penn State come out? If he does, I can see him going high because I think he has Josh Allen-like abilities. I think he's that big, strong arm, huge guy that teams can be like, man, if we mold him correctly, he could be a champion. Now, the problem is the tape's not great. He's in a kind of a bad offense with not a lot of guys around him. So does somebody take a chance on him? If he goes back to school, again, I think he's with Nussmeier as possibly being the top number 1 or number 2 QB. But I could see Allar still going in the top 10, 12 if he comes out this year. So that's going to be interesting. And I think McCord's in that mix. Now, do I think he's going to go the 1st round? I don't. But McCord I'm watching Bo Nix this year. And I was not a Bo Nix guy. I liked him in college. I just didn't know how he would translate to the NFL. I thought the 1st round, top 15, was too high to pick him, but he went there. I was wrong. He's looked great on the Broncos. If you watch the Monday night game, dude was throwing darts. Throwing absolute darts. I think McCord is right there with Bo Nix. I really do. I think he's almost as good a quarterback as Bo Nix. So does that make him a 1st or 2nd rounder? I don't know. But if you put Will Howard and Kyle McCord next to each other in the NFL draft, it's not even a question for me. I'm taking Kyle McCord over Will Howard.
Yeah. I'm probably taking him over yours. I would, personally.
I hadn't heard anybody say that but me, Benny. So I'm glad you agree with me. I do. I've said to you, I'm like, dude, I just don't believe in yours. I really don't. I just think McCord's
and he's good. I'm not saying he's not good. He's just not. He's
just a guy I don't. He could be awesome.
Yeah,
he could end up being really awesome in the pros.
I think you could put a lot of guys on that Texas team, and they would be just as good. They have an unbelievable offensive line. They got great running backs. They got great receivers. I mean, they should be lighting it up. They should be putting up 50 points a game.
Yeah,
and they don't. They really
you've got Isaiah Bond,
crazy.
Who people are projecting as a late 1st round pick at wide receiver, and he's not even touching the ball.
He doesn't get the ball much.
I don't even think he had a catch last game. It's wild.
He's a freak. I mean, I don't understand it. And I know they got a great line, so they want to run the ball and stuff, but that kind of, to me, that tells me if you're a play caller and you have one of the best wide receivers in the country and you continually just run the ball, you're basically taking the ball out of your quarterback's hands a little bit. You don't want him to make mistakes, And he turned the ball over this. I mean, I think he had a fumble.
Well, he had a 93-yard interception return for a touchdown. He had a
Yeah.
93-yard pick.
So,
It was 17-0. He gave up, the only score for Texas A&M was a 93-yard interception return for a touchdown.
and he had a bad fumble in the red zone too. And it's like he's a fairly good, like he's fairly mobile. He's a pretty good athlete. And I know he's got like a foot injury, but it's not like he's one of those guys that, yeah, he's not like the greatest thrower, but dude, he can, like this Alabama quarterback who can just run on you like crazy. He's not like that. So I don't know. I just don't. I would take McCord over him all day, every day.
Jumping ahead to a couple other bets we loved this week that we should have just put a freaking million on it. Indiana 66-0 over Purdue.
Yeah.
It was 28.5. We were both looking at each other like, they've got to crush them, right? And I'm
there wouldn't be.
I had Indiana in this game, but I'm just so mad at myself for not going big, going huge. I felt like Indiana was going to absolutely freaking roll them, and they absolutely freaking rolled them.
Yeah, there wouldn't have been. You could have made Purdue like a 40-point underdog, and I still wouldn't have took Purdue. Like going into the game, you know what I mean?
That's what we should have done, though. That's like we should have like moved up the points and taken like minus 44.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And just, oh my God. So that one's that's a brutal one with shit. Like Indiana, I think is going to be in the mix. I think they're in the playoffs for sure. There's no way you can let them out. Florida was the other big one I liked. They were a 16.5-point favorite against Florida State. That game. I was watching that game. I watched that game, and I thought Florida State was going to cover for a minute. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It was 24-3. Florida was absolutely dominating. It was 24-3. This game wasn't even freaking close. I mean, Florida was absolutely dominating. And then Florida State got a turnover, ended up scoring and going for 2 and getting the 2-point conversion and cut it to 13 with 3 minutes left. And I was like, I had a 16 parlay sitting on this game. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I'm like, there's no way that Florida State, who's done nothing all game, just covers. DJ Lagway saves the day in a minute. This is why I love college. Instead of just hand off. We're up 13, run out the clock. They freaking throw the ball all the way down the field. And DJ Lagway throws an 8-yard touchdown with 2 minutes left, and they win 31-11.
Man.
I'm like, yes, that's the way we do it, DJ Lagway. He's now high in my book. I'm on DJ Lagway from now on. Great drive by him. So they got the cover. Nice win. That hit my 16 parlay. That finished it off. So great win there. LSU won by 20. That's one we kind of were like, I really wanted to take LSU, but they've been killing us lately.
I was on Vanderbilt, man. They were up 17-0 at half, and then ended up, 36-23 and did not cover. But I think when I got it, it was 10. So, I mean, when you start thinking 17,
are you talking about Vanderbilt, Tennessee?
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're up 17-0 at 10 points is a lot.
Benny, this is my plus $16,000 parlay.
So I had 2 brutal ones. I had Vanderbilt and freaking USC. They both blew it at the end of the game. I had a couple of rough beats.
Oh, dude. So to let the viewers or listeners know what my 16 parlay was. I had Missouri. I had Missouri money line. I had Illinois. I think it was -6.
Yeah.
I had Syracuse money line plus 335. I had Vanderbilt money line plus 335.
Money line.
And I had Notre Dame -6 plus 16,000.
Oh, man.
And I only lost on Vanderbilt, who got up 14-0. Who got up 14-0?
Yeah, maybe it was only
and then we're up 17-7 in the first quarter, and then Tennessee just rolled them after that. They got up 17-7. Tennessee scored like 20-something unanswered, got up 30-17, and then Vandy got in late and scored a touchdown. Oh, no, it wasn't Notre Dame I had in there. I had South Carolina. Was the other win. So that was the other one I had in there. So in hindsight, I looked at it and I was like, if I would have just taken Vanderbilt points because they lost by 13,
Right.
It was like plus
But I
12,
think
12 and a half.
Like 10. I think it was
It was
10.
yeah, it was something in that double digit range.
Maybe it
I would
got
have
up to
probably
that.
pushed them up to 14, and then I
Yeah.
would have taken South Carolina. I think I took South Carolina plus 3. If I would have taken South Carolina money line, switched it, it would have probably been 3,000 or 4,000 less on the money line. Just the overall, but I would have hit it.
Still crazy, yeah.
God. Manny was right there, my boys, dude. That would have been a nice payday. That would have been a great way to finish out the year.
I could have saw them win. I mean, Vandy's done it all year. They've covered against everybody pretty much, and they beat Alabama. They beat some good teams, man. They beat Ole Miss, didn't they? I think
yeah.
It was one.
So
somebody else.
Well, no, they beat Alabama, and
they beat Bama. And they upset somebody else too.
Yeah, they did. And they barely lost another game
all year.
Yeah, I was pulling up another one. I was looking at because as we're talking about our crazy wins / bad beats with some of these, is I had. So the other one I just missed was just unbelievable. I took a late night bet. Washington State, who was a 1-loss team until 2 weeks ago, didn't cover 5.5 against Wyoming. Lost 15-14. It's just an absolute shit show. I don't know how that happens. Cost me a 4-pick parlay plus 1,100. I had Indiana minus 41.5, LSU minus 7.5, Florida minus 19.5. I boosted them all up in a live bet, took them all, and then took Washington State minus 5.5, and they didn't cover. Lost. I couldn't believe that one. Dude, I bet this was like the weekend of all weekends. I was like 4 bets away from just absolutely murdering this weekend. Ohio State crushed me. I can't believe they lost to Michigan. I had them at like 13 points in another bet. That was just a brutal loss. Tell you what, Illini fans should feel pretty good. They beat Michigan. And Michigan beat Ohio State. So that was a toughie. South Carolina, we talked about that game. I told you I liked them over Clemson. Came down to the wire. They scored at the end, but they got the win there. So that was another one we were on. Kansas was brutal. That one killed me. Baylor put it to them. Kansas must have used every juju, all the juju they had up, because they got worked in that game after looking really good the last couple of weeks.
They ran out of gas. They were on a 3-game run though, man.
They were murdering for a while. We talked about Mississippi State, about how do not take the points for Mississippi because it was just ugly. 24.5. They won by 12. It was ugly. Should have taken Mississippi State, which we said. Other games we were looking at.
Well,
Colorado. I'm so mad. I told you about this. I woke up late and didn't get my same game parlay in for Colorado. 52-0. Everything I always take for them hit. Shadur Sanders over 300 passing yards. Shadur 2 to 3 touchdowns. Hunter touchdown plus over 100 yards. Webster 70 yards receiving and a touchdown. The 16.5. I told you take it. They're going to crush Oklahoma State. They did. So I'm mad. I ended up hitting the bet, but I'm real mad. And I tried to live bet it right in the middle of the game. I tried to live bet Hunter a touchdown and another thing, and it blocked it right before he got one. I'm like,
that's tough to sneak those in for the props.
You got to be quick on the trigger. You got to be quick on the trigger to get those. But those were the main bets from last week. We kind of talked about that Georgia Tech game.
Oof.
Wild that game was. I don't know how you run the ball all game and then you just throw the ball on every 2-point conversion.
Saying the same thing. I'm like, just freaking run it in. You've been
like Georgia Tech. You just been running the ball all game. Like, what are you doing? It's like all of a sudden they're just throwing the ball every play, running away. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Haynes King had a monster game. Georgia somehow pulled that one off, but Benny,
saved me though. Georgia saved me. I got that parlay for 4 teams to make the playoff, and Georgia had lost that game.
Nice.
I'm not saying they might have still got in, because I think they would have still been in the SEC championship game. Maybe not. I don't know.
They would have been because that was a non-conference game, so they still would have made the.
But they would have had to win it.
Well, they would have to win. So yeah, that's nice for you.
Yeah.
You should be goal there. I missed out on our preseason one because I had Oregon, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Missouri. So Missouri, the South Carolina loss 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Absolutely burying them, knocking them out.
I could still be screwed if Boise State loses to UNLV.
Oh, you still need them? Well, we're going to talk about that right now because we're going to jump into this week's games. Conference championship week. Wild, different than usual. It's top 2 records instead of divisions playing each other. So a little bit different, a little bit crazy. Let's start off with UNLV Boise State. So UNLV number 20, Boise State number 10. Right now it's -4. Boise State over under 58.5.
Yeah.
This should be a good game. It's at Boise State. So obviously that favors the Broncos. These two teams played earlier this year. Boise State won in a battle at UNLV 29-24. Was a super, super close game. Right now, Boise State is right. As it looks now, they're in the playoffs and going to be the number 4 seed, which means they get a bye, which is huge. And I think part of that is because their only loss is at Oregon, who's number 1, 37-34 in a close game where Oregon had to come back and win. The last 3 or 4 weeks have not been easy for the Broncos.
They're limping into
this. They were smoking everyone. They beat Nevada by 7 as a 3-touchdown favorite. They beat San Jose by 21 in a game that was really close until late. Piled it on late. They beat Wyoming with they were a 3 or 4 touchdown favorite. They beat them by 4, and then they beat Oregon State, another team. They were a 3-touchdown favorite. They beat them by 16. So, Benny, where are you leaning on this one? Boise State at home -4 against UNLV in a rematch from earlier this year.
I'm not going to do anything because I need Boise. I guess Boise State could lose and still technically get in, but I feel like they could also. That could maybe
if they lose, I think that knocks them out because that would make UNLV 11-2, would make them 12-2.
Yeah.
And you got to the only automatic bid for them is winning to get in. I don't think they get in without a win.
Yeah, so I need them to win anyway. So I'm probably staying out of this one, and I'm a little nervous to be honest. I think UNLV. UNLV could beat them. They played them to the wire the last time, and it was at UNLV in a dome, at Raider Stadium. The only thing is it's going to be up in Boise. It's going to be cold, but UNLV runs the ball too. It's going to be
they pound the rock. And here's the thing about UNLV, Benny: 2 losses this year. There are 2 losses, 44-41 to Syracuse, who is no joke at 9-3 and just beat Miami. And to Boise State 29-24. This team is legit. They've been good all year. Oh, I hate to say this. I'm probably not betting this game, but if I take this game, I kind of feel like I want to take the points because I think it's going to be close.
I might have to hedge.
I was going to say, might have to hedge
on the money line.
Take them on the money line, or take UNLV if this number gets up. I kind of like UNLV the point. I just feel like this is going to be a close game.
Yeah,
I feel like it's going to be a close game. So that it should be a fun one to watch on Fox on Friday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central Time. I love that game. Other one, Benny, another Friday night game. This is the game that starts before it. Western Kentucky against Jackson State, both 8-4. Real interesting is, who would have thought these teams just played last week? And now they got to play each other for the championship. Western Kentucky at home against Jackson State won 19-17 last week in a really, really close game. Both these teams have been pretty good on offense. It was not good last week. Some injuries happening. Kind of lean in Jacksonville State in this one. It's tough right now. It's sitting at about 3. It's been anywhere from 3.5 to 4.
I like that.
I kind of like Jacksonville State at home. They just lost last week. Beating a team 2 weeks in a row
That's
is
hard to do,
insanely difficult.
especially
and you
when you're
just
pretty
lost at
even.
their place.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's one thing if you're just better, but that's an even. Yeah, I like Jacksonville State here for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning Jacksonville State on that one on another Friday night. A third Friday night game in case you want to put the 3-pick parlay in for Friday night. Tulane, who we've been all over lately. I felt like that Tulane Memphis game was going to be good. It was too good. I took Tulane to cover, and the Memphis put it to them. They played great. Army 10-1 against 9-3 Tulane. So Tulane makes the championship game over Memphis, even though Memphis beat them because of the conference record. I tell you what, Tulane's been great this year, but where they've struggled is when they cannot stop the run. That is when they've gotten buried this year. And guess who runs the ball like crazy?
Army.
Freaking Army.
Yeah.
I'm liking Army in this game. I think Army is going to absolutely pound the rock.
Yeah. I like that too. Give me the
Army is a 4.5-point dog. If you want a money line in a parlay, I kind of like Army at plus 165 on the money line right now.
Yeah, you could get crazy. Go. UNLV, Army, both on the money line, and then take Jacksonville State. Or just go money line
that.
On all three.
That's a nice little Friday nighter. I like that. Jacksonville State, UNLV money line, Army money line. Throw a couple bucks out there.
Nice.
That could be a nice little payout. I like where your head's out there, Benny. Let's move on to the Saturday action. We got Iowa State 10-2, number 16 in the country against number 15, Arizona State 10-2. So we know on this one, this is for the Big 12 championship. Whoever wins this is in.
Yep.
No questions asked. Whoever loses, bye-bye. You're gone. You're not in. Yep. There's no way you're getting in. So this is a huge one. Arizona State right now, minus 2.5. Right? What'd you say?
The winner is in no matter what, though, right?
In no matter what. Yep. Whoever wins this wins the Big 12 is in no matter what. This was the other bet I talked about last week, and Benny, we should have put $1 million on it. I said Arizona State was going to hammer Arizona 49-7. They just absolutely worked them. Iowa State really got lucky against Kansas State. 29-21. I thought Kansas State should have beat them. That would have knocked Iowa State out of this game. I like Arizona State. These guys are on a freaking roll. They're playing really well.
Scattaboo. Love that guy.
It's Scattaboo. And then they got the freshman QB, Sam Levitt from Michigan State, transferred over, and he's looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
2,400 yards, 21 TDs, 5 interceptions. Scattaboo, dude, 1,400 yards, 17 TDs. And then wideout Tyson, 75 catches, 1,100 yards, 10 TDs. This should be an exciting game. Both these teams should be in the mix. I like Arizona State at minus 2.5. I think they win this by a field goal.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I think Arizona State's on a roll. I think they keep rolling. I mean, it'd be a good game, but I think Arizona State will get them.
I like what your head's out there. The next game on Saturday, ESPN, Ohio versus Miami, Ohio. The battle of the Buckeye State, and neither one of the Buckeyes. 8-4 Miami, Ohio against 9-3 Ohio. I did date a girl from Miami, Ohio one time. I think you remember her, Benny.
From Miami, Ohio?
The Australian.
Oh.
Gosh, she went to Miami, Ohio. You remember the Australian? Tamara.
She went there? I did not know that.
Bringing up high school stuff. So, date her before she went there. So, Miami, Ohio got a little leanings there. My buddy Anthony went to Ohio for a while. This one's an interesting. You know what I'm going to lean, and this is a total bias bet on me because of Tamara. Plus, Brett Gabbert, his brother went to Mizzou. Huge quarterback at Mizzou. I'm going Miami, Ohio. It's -3 right now. I'm jumping on the Red Hawks, and that is not my professional analysis. That's just what I'm doing. I'm taking the Red Hawks because of Gabbert and a fine Australian girl named Tamara.
It's the MAC. It's the MAC championship, man. You're macking on the MAC. I'm gonna go with you here. I have no idea. I'm gonna go with you. Miami of Ohio. Let's go.
Let's go Red Hawks. Also, the home of Ben Roethlisberger's Steelers' great quarterback. Got to do it. This is the one that's going to be interesting. Georgia number 5 against number 2 Texas. 11-1 Texas, 10-2 Georgia. You'd assume both these teams are in. There's no way they're going to take Georgia out of the playoffs just if they lose this game. Can they beat Texas twice? That's the question. 2.5 point favorite right now. Texas over under 49.5. Georgia beat them earlier this season. Like we've talked about, these are two quarterbacks that a lot of people had as number 1 and number 2 quarterback in the nation coming into this game. They both have struggled a bit in Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
What do you think, Manny? This is an interesting game. What do you think? Can Georgia get it done twice in one season?
The only thing that I think Georgia could and probably should beat them, but it was a bad spot for Texas last time, and Georgia was coming off a loss, and they needed it bad. And they just physically dominated that game. And I don't think Texas is they're not going to let themselves get bullied like they did last time. So I think this is going to be, for sure, a one possession game. This thing's coming down to the wire. Texas is not going to let Georgia just push them around like they did last time. Well, it should be a really good game, man. I do think Georgia's quarterback is slightly better. Texas probably has all around a better team. It's a tough one. This is going to be a good game either way.
It was 30-15 the first time.
Yeah.
Over under right now is 49.5. Yeah, over under is 49.5. Yeah. I feel like we could go over in this game.
It could.
45 last game and it was ugly. Yeah. It was kind of ugly last game and it was 45. I kind of like the over.
3 p.m. kick.
Georgia
is this on a neutral?
Plus is that 2.5? I can get Georgia to like 3. I kind of like Georgia 3. Yeah, this is Atlanta. Yep, the game's always in Atlanta for the SEC championship game.
Yeah,
that's gonna be Georgia country. I mean, we're in Georgia. We're in Atlanta. That's Georgia country.
Yeah. Man.
I'm leaning the points. Georgia the points. I'd move it up to at least 3, and I'm leaning the over.
I'll lean that too. Georgia in the over. This should be a good one.
We're in the dome, loud NFL stadium. I think I gotta lean. I think the owner in that one.
The big thing in this game is whoever wins is going to get that bye. You know.
Yep. So whoever wins the SEC and gets and likely gets the number 2 seed.
They're both getting in, so it's probably but yeah, I like that though. I like Georgia.
That's why I think we're going to go over, because I think both teams are going to play a little more loose.
Yeah, there's no pressure.
Probably in. And there's still pressure to win the SEC championship, but I think they're going to play a little more loose as opposed to like if we lose this game, we're completely freaking out and like you start holding it real close to the vest. I think they play a little loose. That's why I really like the over. I think I would move up the points on Georgia. I'd move up the points a couple and then move the over under down and take the over
3.5 at least.
Yeah, I'm like 3.5 or 4, like 3.5 or 4 for Georgia, and then move the over under down to like 47.
Yeah.
46, 47 to take the over. I think that's a smash.
That's gotta hit 50.
That's a smash to me, I think. That's good. I like that one. 3 games left. We'll talk about the least interesting game of the back. Marshall, Thundering Herd, 9-3 against University of Louisiana Raging Cajuns. 10-2 against 9-3 Marshall. Right now, Louisiana, a 5.5 point favorite, over under 56.5 on this one.
Man, I don't really have a clue, but
I have to be honest. I have not watched either one of these games, but I kind of like the Raging Cajuns
at all. But
I just looking through the schedule.
Games in Louisiana.
Yeah, so what these teams have done and looking through the schedule, I really like what Louisiana's done this year. They lost to Tulane by 8 early in the season, and we've all said how much we like Tulane. They beat Wake Forest by 3, which I thought was an impressive win. Also got a nice win over Coastal Carolina and Texas State. Texas State was my pick to win this conference. So nice wins there. They lost by 2 to South Alabama in a really tough game. To me, I got to lean the Raging Cajuns in this game. I just think they've been a little more battle tested. I like what they've done. Marshall, their losses early in the year were to Virginia Tech and Ohio State, so nothing to sneeze at there, as they've won a multitude of games in a row. Also lost to Georgia Southern by a point. But to me, a nice win over James Madison last week to get in here. But I'm taking the Raging Cajuns. It's -5.5. I think they can win by 6. I'm on the Raging Cajuns.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like that.
Last 2 games tonight. We're going to end with the Big Ten because we're in Big Ten country before we get there. But let's Clemson 9-3, number 17 in the country against number 8 SMU. Clemson lucking out with Miami losing losing to Syracuse, gets them in to the ACC championship game. Whoever wins this game is in. So SMU wins, they're in. Clemson wins, they're in. SMU is going to be that bubble team. If they lose this game and finish 11-2, how is the committee going to look at them? Are they going to let a 3-loss SEC team in over them?
Right.
As a 2-loss ACC team is going to be the big question mark. Right now, this game is sitting at -2.5 SMU, over under 56.5. SMU coming off a 38-6 win over Cal. Clemson coming off a 17-14 loss to South Carolina. Benny, where are you leaning in this one?
I am actually leaning Clemson. And I think it's because they got beat to, South Carolina, who's a really good team. I mean, that's a pretty good team. They've got some really good athletes on that team. And I think it's just one of those things where Clemson's like, we got this gift. We got a shot here. And I don't know. I don't think SMU thinks if they lose, they can still get in the playoff. It's possible. But I don't know. I just feel like Clemson is one of those teams that would win a game like this and get themselves in, even though they probably shouldn't be in. And they're probably going to get in. And that's just Clemson for you. But SMU, unfortunately.
I agree with you. We got a comment here.
Yeah. What we got here?
We got a comment here from our guy out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports. Says, good evening, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate. Tulane blew their playoff chances. They did. If they would have beat Memphis and then taken down a 10-1 Army team, I think this team could have snuck in. I really do think Tulane was right there. Memphis taking them out, I think, knocked it off because they had momentum. I think people kind of have a soft spot for the Green Wave. I think there's a good chance voters would have voted for them in. But, yeah, they absolutely blew their chances on that loss to Memphis. Even though they win this game, what they could have done was beating Memphis, then winning the championship game and having Boise State lose to UNLV. To me, that would have given Tulane a really good chance of making the playoffs. But I think, obviously out now after that. JD would be down for some college spotlights, Dynasty stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely hit me up anytime. I'd be love to do any kind of college spotlights, any of that stuff. Let me know for sure. I love Hughes. He's a monster. He is running back for Tulane. Absolute beast. Keep an eye out for him if you play any kind of college fantasy football. That guy is absolutely got to be on your radar. Thank you, Out of Rhythm Fantasy Sports, for jumping in there. Benny, I'm with you. I think Clemson getting beat last week and then sneaking in because of Miami losing is a gift. And we've seen this in the past. When teams like luck out to get into these spots, they win in a lot of circumstances. And why I like SMU, and I think SMU has had a awesome season, they haven't played that tough of a schedule. They avoided Clemson, they avoided Miami, they avoided Syracuse. They didn't play any of those teams this year. Their only loss right now is the Big 12 BYU 18-15.
Yeah. I think if they lose, I I think Alabama's going to get in. I mean, that's based on the current ranking. I think that's what's
looking
going
at
to
what
happen.
they're showing.
And it sucks for them because they've had an unbelievable season. But like you said, they've really not.
I
had
don't
to
think.
play.
Here's the thing: is if they lose, I could see if it's 2 ACC teams get in, I could see them putting in Miami, even though they didn't make the championship.
Oh yeah, they could. You're
I
right.
don't think two
Over-
ACC teams get in, but I could see,
Yeah.
dude, Miami, the name of Miami over SMU.
Yeah, for sure.
I could see it happening. I could see it happen because you'd
Man,
have
people-
11-2 SMU team and a 10-2 Miami team where they didn't play each other.
But what sucks is it's probably going to be Alabama, and then
I
Ole Miss
think
is going to
you're probably right.
and so is SMU, and probably so is.
Well, we're gonna have stuff to talk about on next
yeah.
week's show, Betty.
Yeah,
I can guarantee it. We're gonna have when we talk about college football playoff in next week's show, we are gonna have a lot of bitching and moaning. I can guarantee it. So we're both on Clemson. I think you're right. I think Clemson ends up pulling that thing out. Last game of the night as we close things down here as we're coming up on the hour. Oregon, number 1 in the country, 12-0, going against number 3 Penn State, 11-1. Ohio State with a choke job against the Wolverines, and Penn State, which they've just been dying for years and years to make the Big Ten championship game. They're finally in, and of course they're playing Michigan. I love how they're playing Oregon. I love how Michigan and Ohio State fought for years and years to get rid of the divisions so that they could play each other in the championship game. They get rid of the divisions, and then neither one of them were in the championship game. It's funny how that ends up working out. Right now, Oregon's a 3.5 point favorite, over under 49.5. Benny, this game,
I got no feel.
Feels squirrely. It feels squirrely for me. What are you thinking?
That's what I'm saying. I have no, like you asked me about this Clemson game. I'm in on Clemson 100%. I was already thinking that, I was thinking during the Miami game, I'm like, if they don't win, I'm gonna bet Clemson next week against SMU. I just am, or the South Carolina. But this game, I think Oregon's definitely better. I mean, I think they're better, but man, it's and they're going for the perfect season. It's a Big Ten championship. I mean, I don't know though. Penn State is they're a live one. They're a live dog, man.
I got this crazy feeling that Penn State wins this game.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's not rooted in any like realistic stats. It's just this crazy feeling that they snuck in because Michigan knocked off Ohio State.
It's almost like the Clemson
that
thing.
Somehow they're now gonna win it. Because that's the only way Penn State wins is when they don't have to play Ohio State or Michigan. I feel like they're in the locker room going, Oregon.
We can beat Oregon.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I think that's what I'm saying. I think they're like, we can take out Oregon. Are you kidding me? Because they just cannot play Ohio State and Michigan. They just can't. It's like it's a mental block. They can't do it.
Yeah.
Oregon's been good this year, and let me not hate on Oregon because they've been good this year.
Dude, they're fast.
I feel like they're the weakest number 1 undefeated team I can remember.
Yeah.
I usually look at a number 1 undefeated team and I'm like, that team is badass.
That team can't.
This team, I feel like, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good. Are they dominant? Are they dominant?
I mean, what's the best team they played all year was Ohio State. And
they should have lost that game. They had it at home.
And Ohio State just lost to Michigan. So, I don't know, man. I'm with you, though. I think if I do anything in this game, it's going to be Penn State and the dog because that's what I want to root for anyway. And so, what the heck? Although,
as a traditional Big Tenner, do you not have, even though Penn State came along late, they're old for us that really grew up in the Big Ten. We're like, Penn State's not really Big Ten because they came in later, but like they're more Big Ten than Oregon. I think Penn State ends up. Penn State puts it to them. I really do. I think they put it together. I'm taking Penn State in this game. It's 3.5. I'm going to take the 3.5 Penn State as a dog, but I'm telling you right now, my JT Parlay play of the day. Oh, we're gonna build it right now. Hold on. I
do it.
just thought about it as I'm looking at these. This is our JT Parlay play of the day. Throwing it on the screen here. I'm taking Clemson money line
Yeah, that's
as a dog. I'm taking
that's gonna be
Penn
my Plums
State.
bet too. Is Clemson? I'm all over
Clemson, I love it. All right, so I'm gonna pull that up right there, Benny. Plums bet, feeling my plums. Plums bet of the week is Clemson.
It was you.
Loves it. Benny loves Clemson. I love it. So let's go back to JT Parlay play of the day. I'm thinking we're going to get crazy on this. We're going to take dogs galore. I like Clemson money line. I like Penn State money line.
Let's go.
I'm taking Arizona State. I'm taking minus the 2.5. I think they win by 3. I'm taking Arizona State on that one. That do I want to throw one more in there? I might take Miami of Ohio money line. Throw that in that mix.
We don't know. What about UNLV? I'm so scared about them beating Boise State. That could just be my fear of Boise State getting knocked out.
I kind of want UNLV there. Do we money line it? Do we full money line? Benny, do we full money line dog in the championships? That would be a hell of a bet. Clemson, Penn State,
Arizona State,
UNLV, 3 dogs
and 1 favorite
with a favorite in Arizona State. Oh,
I like that.
I kind of like that. That's that's kind of.
It's gonna be so hard for me to, but it'd be. I mean, that's gonna be a big payout. So if that actually hits, I'll be totally fine with Boise getting bounced out of the playoff. Well, I'll be fine with that.
So this is where I'm at, Benny. This is why we should probably take UNLV +4.
Oh, just take
so that we could double up just in case.
Oh, if it middles,
so we could which we hit the middle. I hit it this year on the most ridiculous bet of all time. I took an over/under that covered by 0.5 point. I hit both bets. It was magical. So I'm putting it together right now here on DraftKings. I'm going to tell you guys what the official payout for this would be. If you take Clemson money line dog +114, Penn State money line dog +145, you jump on Arizona State -2 at -112, and then take UNLV +4 at -108. Do I want to jump on Army plus, or do I want to stick? Should we stick with the 4-teamer there, Benny?
I do like Army, but yeah, let's stick with the 4.
I kind of want the over in the Georgia-Texas game.
Ooh, yeah, let's throw that in there.
I'm going to move that. Let's move that. Let's just adjust that line just a hair down. Let's move that line. Alternate points. I really think that this game's going to get some points going. It was 30-15 last game. I think, what if we move this down to a 46? That's -166. Or even a 45. Do you want 45 or 46? -183 or -166?
Let me think here. What's the key number?
45 would be 24-21.
Yeah.
Would be a push. So 40.
Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, let's go 40. Yeah, let's go 45.
45. All right. So throw 40. Oh, that's nice, Benny. All right. We're looking at a 5-team JT Parlay play of the day. Plus 28.55. 28.55. UNLV +4. Arizona State -2. Penn State to win. Clemson to win. Money line in the over 45 in Georgia, Texas. 28.55. Lock it in. I love that bet.
Where you at, DraftKings on that?
I'm on DraftKings on that. I'm going to put that one in the old WPP. We'll put that one in the group. We'll throw that in. That one's going to look beautiful. And we're just over the hour mark. That's going to do it for us. We've been a little bit long throwing in that last bet. But Benny, it's been a great season. We got a couple weeks left. Hey, here's the best part. We still got championship weekend this weekend, and we got the playoffs, baby. We got the playoffs plus bowl games. Plus bowl games. Can't beat it. Stick with us.
Bowls,
if you're not,
they're not gonna.
The bowl games are gonna be interesting. A lot of guys might jump out, transfer. The bowl games are gonna be interesting. But here's why I like the playoffs. Guys aren't gonna be transferring in the middle of the playoffs. They're gonna be playing in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I love it. So we've got some stuff ahead of us. We're going to break it all down after the conference championship. Who's in the playoffs, who's not, what games we like, all that stuff coming up next week. Tuesday night, 11 Eastern, 10 Central time here on the Stew with JT Brew on Fantasy and Frames. This is the college football betting show with JT and Ben Dyer. Check us out at JT Orange and Ben Dyer 8 on the X. Follow us, like us. Jump on over to Fantasy and Frames on the YouTube channel, like and subscribe. Ton of good content there, doing all kinds of good stuff. He said, I already says a lot of you guys leaving teams already. I'm sorry. We apologize. We've been all over it, so we appreciate it. Oh, he's got a McCord comment, which I got to get into. McCord does it again. Impressive against Cameron's crazy Miami. Love it. We talked about McCord early on in the show. If you didn't see it, me and Benny love him. He is probably right now QB4 for me in this next draft class, depending on who comes out or who leaves. I love Kyle McCord. Ohio State, you missed out. Push a good guy out of town. Blew that. Hey, I love it for the orange. He has absolutely remade that program. He has been phenomenal, broken every record this year. So we appreciate it, Out of Rhythm, and everybody else who jumped on and joined the podcast and the show tonight on YouTube. We appreciate it. May all your bets hit and the trading never quit. We'll check you next time on the Stew with JT Brew on Fantasy and Frames.
You up on trades and wire moves, you ain't designed to lose. Find you jumping over seemingly nothing, racking up points, makes the game a little more fun to watch. Can drop release, we started with the mock draft and now we making a mockery of the leaderboard. Quite obviously not a scrub, so start an institute, make evaluations like a commissioner do. It's to the point your wife make you watch in a different room. Update your roster and pick and choose when you get some news. Not much that we enjoy more than sipping brew, sifting through new statistics to make it to our end zones through different routes. Universities, institutes, down to homies who click in groups. I introduce you to the Stew with JT Brew.